What's up, GTA fans? Pre-orders are now live, and in this video I'm going to talk about the bonus you get if you decide to pre-order. It's called the Vintage Vice City Pack. Let's take a look at what it contains. It says, pre-order to get unique benefits that flash back to when the neon burned brightest, followed by a bunch of beautiful screenshots. When we view the next page, we get text that says, welcome back to Vice City. Featuring a timeless 55 Vapid Stanier sedan and garage alongside Ocean Beach, decadent outfits and hairstyles for both Jason and Lucia, and an iconic weapon pattern that echoes the excess of the past. Now let's look at the first screenshot. We see Lucia and Jason posing in front of the Ocean View Hotel. If you haven't noticed, Lucia's dress and hairstyle seems like an obvious homage to Gina Montana from Scarface, and Jason's outfit and hairstyle is also a pretty obvious homage to Sonny Crockett from Miami Vice. The overall lighting looks great as it's reflecting prominently on Jason's suit jacket and Lucia's dress. After that screenshot, we get text that says, cruise shore drive in this classic sedan and stored in the Shorecourt personal garage that's just a stone's throw from the glistening sands of Ocean Beach. It features a weapon locker plus a secure place to deposit stolen goods to be fenced. So, we get a garage for the car, but what stands out here is the mention of stolen goods that can be fenced. Looks like fences similar to Red Dead Redemption are in the game. Very interesting. Now let's dive into the following screenshots. So here's our first look at the 55 Vapid Stanier with Jason driving and Lucia in the passenger seat. It also appears to be lightly raining or has just finished because we see raindrops on the car and on the windshield. Our next screenshot gives us a close-up view of the Stanier and the insane details. Look at the rust and wear on the frame around the window. And look through the window. Even with this small view, we can see the texture on the steering wheel and dashboard. The next screenshot gives us a close-up of Jason driving the Stanier once again. In the back seat, you see a duffel bag full of money. We also have another great display of reflections on the windshield. Now in this next screenshot, we see the back of the Stanier and a really good close-up of the backlight. It actually looks like the light is coming from within the light bulb instead of just being a light source. Okay, our next screenshot features Jason and Lucia inside of a nightclub. They look amazing together. Lucia is gorgeous with her stylish curls and sequin dress. Jason, on the other hand, looks like a different person. Like, I know that's him, but he seems like a completely different guy with that hair. Moving on, we have a new set of text that says outfits and hairstyles. Dress for excess with Jason's effortlessly chic linen suit in vintage pastel, complemented by the cut and coif of the decade of decadence. Show everyone the world is yours, in Lucia's red sequin mini dress and curls. And in the following screenshot, we see this insane close-up of Lucia's face. First, let's focus on her eyes, because the detail is just absolutely insane. Her tear ducts actually look slightly wet and glistening from the light. And if we look at her lips, there is excellent detail there too. You can see the wrinkles and how shiny they are. Moving on to our next screenshot, we see Jason holding a micro SMG. This micro SMG is customized with a design calling back to the famous shirt that Tommy Vercetti wore. Also, I'd like to point out the individual threading on his suit jacket that showcases the level of detail. Our next screenshot is another close-up of Lucia holding a martini glass. The first thing I want to point out is her nails. Not only are they designed, but her pinky actually has a different design than the rest. And if we look at the martini glass, the liquid inside looks very realistic. Not only can you see the bubbles rising from the bottom, but also the bubbles forming at the top. Okay, in the next screenshot, we get an extreme close-up of Jason this time. Look at the individual strands of his hair, and we can also kind of see the individual strands of his eyebrows. And on his face, we see that he has quite a few freckles and noticeable sun damage. After that screenshot, we're greeted with yet another set of text. Channel the original Kingpin. Adorn most guns with a tropical pattern inspired by Tommy Vercetti's iconic palm tree button-up. And in the following screenshot, we see the back seat of the Stanier with a micro SMG and pistol wrapped in the iconic Tommy Vercetti palm tree design. And to the left, a closer look at the duffel bag from previous shots. And let's not ignore the detail in the leather texturing on the seat. And now to the last screenshot. We have Jason and Lucia standing in front of the Stanier on the beach, and in the background, it appears to be the port that we've seen in multiple different screenshots. Looking at the ground, we can see the detail in the sand. We can't ignore how much of an upgrade this is from GTA 5. Well, that was the last screenshot, so that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one when it drops. Until next time, peace.